Well, it's a rainy day in Charleston today, so that means I'm going to do a little bit of maintenance on the car. And what I'm going to do is install a new clutch stop on the right behind the clutch pedal, just to kind of improve the clutch feel a little bit. The clutch in the F30 BMW doesn't exactly have the greatest feel. It can be a little bit vague, there's a little bit of a dead spot in there, but this should fix that up. So we're going to put this in today. We're also going to be hooking up this cable. I'm not really going to do much with it today. I'm just going to go ahead and run the cable. What this is, though, is this is the Burger Mortar? No, I always say that. Burger Motorsports link cable. So this will actually hook into my my JB Stage 1 module, and I'll be able to go in there and play around with some settings. So it's obviously not as full featured as the JB4, but there are some things in there I can mess with. Really just the boost. The stock boost increase for the JB Stage 1 is 4 psi over stock, and I used to have the JB Plus in this, which you could adjust up to 4.75 psi over stock. So I bought this just so I can adjust this up to 4.7 or even 5 psi, and that's really it. But today I'm just going to run it because I don't really know what I'm doing when it goes in terms of messing with all that stuff. So I'm going to read up on it first, but at least I can run the cable. And last but not least, a new air filter. Yay! I looked for a K&N. I couldn't find one locally. Of course, I didn't, obviously, as you can see, I didn't buy this locally either. But this is from DNA Motoring. No idea who that is. I assume they just import and resell China-made stuff. No idea. But K&N air filter for this was 60 bucks. This was 15 bucks. And yes, I know you get what you pay for, but I have a soft spot for buying cheap stuff just to see if it's any good. And if it's good, I'm going to keep it. If it's not good, well then I'm just going to buy a K&N air filter for it. No harm and no foul as far as I'm concerned. I may end up buying a full intake for the system at some point, or for the car at some point, but there's really not much of a benefit to them other than the sound, which kind of is a big benefit to me. But still, as it is, I'm going to pop this guy in and just see how I like it. So come on, let's do this. All right. So the air filter is super simple. First thing we want to do is pop this off. This little tube that's clipped into it. And then we have the mass airflow sensor right here, which you're just going to take a screwdriver here, lift the tab, and should come right off. There we go. And then there's a little hose clamp here we need to loosen. Of course, it's a flathead, which is, I still don't understand why we use flatheads. All that happens is the screwdriver just slips off of them. But there we go. That should be loose enough. And then these little clamps here just fire right off. Unhook it from these little grommets. Easier said than done, apparently. There we go. Oh. There we go. Cool. So there's your air filter housing box. It's a big ass thing. It's got a lot of silencers and stuff built into it, so you can't hear stuff, which is no bueno. But then here you go. So here's the paper air filter. It's actually, it's not very dirty. I mean, it's a little dirty, but it's not too bad. Still got plenty of life left in it, but we are going to pop this guy in. Oh, look at that. Of course, it's blue to match this. That's another reason I went with this over K&N, is just because it's blue. It matches the car. You'll never see it, but I'll know it's there. I'll know it's blue. And actually, you see some of the bumper here, it's a little bit darker, but it's not too far off. And so this just pops right in, and then the top of the box just goes right back on it. So let's take care of that. All right. Just line all this stuff back up. That's on there. Good. All right. I say. Alright, so the issue is indeed that the air filter is a little bit thicker. And what I mean by that is, if you take a look at this one, the rim around the perimeter of it on the aftermarket one is just a little bit thicker. And so when the top of the air box went to go close on it, it takes a little bit more force to get it up into the ridges of the top of the air box. So what I did is I went ahead and pressed it into the top of the air box, and let's see if we can kind of snake this in and finagle it and get it in there. But as you can see, it's tucked up in there good. It shouldn't come out. So let's pop this in here. And then get you around here, you around here. And then in there, yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking. Fits like a glove that you have to kind of squeeze your hand into a little bit and then convince everybody you're not getting fat. But it worked. Now, let's pop these grommets back onto the airbox. We're gonna do that, being a little cheeky about it. We grab some, where are we at? Lubricant, yeah, we got WD-40. Me and rubber grommets typically do not get along. So, I'm gonna pop this here, as we should. There you go. I'm running out. There we go. Snaps right on in. And this one right here, same thing. Let's see. Pop you right there. Spray it down a little bit. And then, there we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, we just gotta put the intake hose back on, which was done like so. And tighten her back up. There's that. There's that. And there we go. Airbox installed, good to go. Now, quick tip, what I didn't do is I did not clean the mass airflow sensor, and the reason for that is I just cleaned the mass airflow sensor probably about 2-3 weeks ago, so really didn't need to do that right now. But because that is a oil-based filter now, as opposed to it's cotton and oil versus the paper, I will be checking that periodically to make sure there's no oil buildup on the mass airflow sensor and kind of cleaning off whatever gets under there. But anyway, whenever you do an air filter change, you definitely should clean the mass airflow sensor, but like I said, I don't really need to right now. Next thing we're going to do is, while I'm under here, there you go, it's nice and clean. We are going to affix a sticker that I have. Yay for decals! So I'm just going to go run and grab some scissors, and then we're going to pop that on there because I like stickers. All right, I'm back, and I got my stickers. So what we have here is just some Burger Motorsport stickers, and I'm just going to use one. I'm just going to cut it out real quick. One thing that I wish BMW had done with the 328 would be to give it a M Performance Pack upgrade like they did with the 335. And basically what that is just a computer reprogram. So it's basically like tuning a vehicle. It actually gives it an extra, I think 20-25 horsepower on the 335. You know, it may be a little bit more than that. I'm not 100% certain, but I know it's somewhere in the ballpark of like 20 to 30 horsepower extra that it gives it. Essentially the same thing that I did when I installed the JB Stage 1 on this little beast. But the other thing that the Performance Pack gives you for the 335 is a new engine cover with a nice little M Performance Package sticker on it. It's actually more of an emblem, actually. They actually do a pretty good job of it. But that's not available for this car, and if it was, I wouldn't put it on here anyway without actually having an M Performance Pack on here. So I'll do the next best thing. slap a Burger Motorsports thing right there. Maybe right there, right there. Which one? No, I like it underneath it, so that's where it's gonna go. So, let's slowly peel this thing off of here. There we go. And now we affix it. Now, putting these types of decals on underhood parts has been hit or miss for me. Sometimes they stay there and everything works out great. Other times they just peel right up when I peel this up. So let's see. Oh, looks like it might stay. Slowly now. Slowly now. And job done. Look at that! Looks all official now. Bug of Motorsports. Right on the engine cover there. I know. It could be tacky, and that's not everybody's flavor, but it's my car. I have Burger Motorsports stuff on it. I like it. Here, give you a better shot of it. Look at that. Oh, it's all official looking. I know. Little things amuse me. But yeah, cool. Not too tacky. I'm definitely not going to put one of those on the outside of my car, but I wanted something to kind of dress up the engine a little bit. But moving on, I am now going to run the. When I say run, I'm just going to install the cable for the JB Stage 1. So let's get on to that. So here's the cable. Check it out here. I got to be careful because there's two tiny screws. There we go. Two tiny screws in there that I'm going to need. But this is the cable. It is a USB on one end, and on the other end is a DB9. Not an Aston Martin, but the actual connector. It's a 9-pin connector. Really, this is actually a 3-pin connector, if you can see. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to focus on there, maybe. Yeah, there we go. See, 3-pin connector. And then next thing you might notice is, look at all that. Just exposed wiring. I understand why they did it. Apparently that's the way they needed to make it, but that's not going to fly with me. So I'm just going to take a little bit of electrical tape and just cover that up a little bit. Weatherproof it just a tad. Just a tad. As soon as I find my scissors, which have escaped me. Scissors! Scissors! Found them! Alright. Yes. That's trash. I'm just gonna cut off a little bit of electrical tape, just a little bit. There we go. And then start it right about here. Wrap it around. Nothing fancy, just cover up the exposed wiring a little bit. And I think I'm gonna want, I'm gonna want one more little strip on there just for good measure. You get, come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm not a professional taper, as you can see, but really, I just want to add some extra protection for those 3 exposed little wires. So, there we go. Next up, we have to expose the JV system again. So let's point you right there. I'll zoom in a little bit right there, and then I will meet you on the other side and start taking this thing apart. Now I've already shown you once how to take it apart, but you're gonna come with me through that little adventure one more time. It's real quick. Okay, I believe I have whoa, look how close my hands are to this. I believe I have everything I need. So, let's dig in and get this thing going. Now, if you remember from the last time, to open this up, you just take the 10mm socket here, or wrench, whatever you want, or you can do it by your fingers if your fingers is strong enough. And yes, I said if your fingers is strong enough. All right, next, pull this. There you go. And then the happy little JB system is right here. Now on the other side of this over here is where this cable is going to go. And I will see if I can maneuver the camera so you can get a better shot. So bear with me 1 second. So it turns out there's actually not a better angle to do this unless I either unmount this, which I don't really want to do, or unmount the hood, which I don't get paid enough to do that. In fact, I don't get paid at all to make these videos. So I will show you a picture of the finished product when I'm done. But until then, let's go ahead and pop this on. Really, it's just as simple. Oh, good Lord, the light's about to come down on me. Yeah, I plan things out very well. So first thing we need to do is just pop this in to the end of it, like so. And then we take these tiny little screws here and we screw them in. Now, this would be a walk in the park if I had, somebody's texting me, if I had removed this, but I did not. So I'm going to try and do this with these tiny screws while it's still mounted. And this one, I feel, is going to work out well. Yeah. That one was successful. I believe this one may be successful as well, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, so to speak. Come on, get in there. Oh, it's in. There. Cable attached. So again, there's the JB Stage 1. Then the cable is hooked to the end of it, and then this is just going to get tucked down in here and zip tied up all nice and neat. You don't really need to see me zip tie things, so I will do the magic of a jump cut and ta-da! Well, actually, it's not really all that neat, as I just kind of bundled it up, and I left enough room on the USB side of it to plug into my, my Microsoft Surface, so I can play with it and change things up. I don't need to data log anything, which is why I didn't run it into the car itself, because I have the BMW Carly app for that. Well, that should just about do it under the hood. Let's go install that clutch stop now and see how easy that's going to be. So deep under there is where I'm headed, and to access that area in there so I can install the new clutch stop, I gotta take this off, and there's not really a good angle for me to put the camera, so I'm just gonna set the camera back a little bit, get under there, and let's do this. Alright. So I've been trying to remove this panel, and it's just been fighting me every step of the way. And they say you have to remove this panel to access the clutch stop that's behind there. But what you can also do is just reach behind the panel and yank it out. So here is the factory clutch stop, and then I will show you, here is the aftermarket one. So you can see there's a lot more extra room here. I'm going to put it in with all, like, it's adjustable, so you can take these discs off. I'm going to put them all in, and then yeah, I think that's going to do it, because there's a lot of extra travel before the clutch actually engages. So I'm going to pop that in, and that should give me a much better clutch feel. Well, sweaty. Thank you for joining me. Man, it is hot down here in Charleston today, especially when you're underneath a car fighting with a plastic panel that will not come off. And it is not an issue of not knowing how to get it off. The issue is BMW has these little plastic clips which do a really good job of holding their panels in place. They put up a fight when trying to remove it, but in the end I realized I'd have to do that anyway. What was supposed to be a 15 to 20 minute modification was literally a 30-second modification. That's what I get for following instructions, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm still trying to figure out how to film and work on cars at the same time as one person, but I'm slowly, I think, figuring it out. I don't know. Well, but you know, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.